It's nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Dr. Priscilla.
everyone.
Hello, everyone. How is everybody today?
Good.
It's good to see you all. Hello, Mina. I'm glad you were able to join me.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to see you. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
How are you, Priscilla? Very well, thank you.
Awesome. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Priscilla. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Tara, you are going to be my expert student today. And from this lesson, we will all be able to ascertain how much you're gaining and learning what we're going to do today. The lesson will pick up for you, Tara, where we left off yesterday. Catherine and Mina, the lesson will be new. We will have something different that I'll add to the lesson. And let me see if I can get my video on. So here I am.
Hi, I can see you now.
Let me turn on
You,
my
Dr. Priscilla.
I can also see
let me
you.
turn on my ring light. I've got this light that makes me much better.
You look is good. You're beautiful today.
Well, thank you
I
so
love
much.
the air.
Yeah, these are my nice
Yeah.
earrings.
I like it, yes.
Thank you so
Well,
much. Thank you so much.
well,
So, Mina, I have not met you before, but Catherine and Tara, I am very much familiar with them. So tell me a little about yourself, Mina.
Myself, Meena Jadhav. I'm from India. Uh,
Your family?
my husband, my in-laws, and I have a baby.
Mm-hmm. Very
He's
good.
a two and a half year.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
super. Well, it's nice to have you here. Catherine, introduce yourself.
yeah, my name is Catherine. I'm living right now in New York. I'm married. I have a son with 21 months, almost 2 years. My profession is interior designer. So
Super. And Tara.
Well, my name is Tara, and I am from Iraq, and I'm a community pharmacist, and I am single. I'm not married yet.
Okay, very good. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Priscilla. I'm your conversational English coach, and I'm excited about having you here today. So let's go ahead and dive into our lesson. First, I will ascertain that we all have watched the video. Did you get to see the video, Mina?
yes,
Good.
but I'm not able to understand that whole accent. It's US accent.
That's okay.
So
That's okay.
I was
You'll understand it as we go through. Catherine, did you get to watch the video?
yeah, I saw the video, yes, but also I didn't understand everything. Some word, but not everything, because
Okay.
the acting is
And that's perfectly fine. And Tara, I know that you watched it yesterday.
Yesterday.
So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the lesson. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up the lesson that we're going to look at today. And it's titled Life and Death. Now let me go back to where you guys are and share my screen. Share my screen. Here. Okay, so now that we've watched the video, this activity is life or death. And it's first, we're going to look at reading, not so much to do the active part. If we get a chance, I'll do that as well. But for now, I'd like for you to take a moment and look at these words over here. Give up, depend, canyon. So quickly look at these words, and I'm going to ask Mina if you'll pronounce the ones in blue. Catherine, if you'll just pronounce the ones in red.
okay.
Mina will do the ones in blue.
give up.
Mina,
Give up.
Depend on.
canyon,
Mina,
Cut off.
avalanche,
Fall into. Next, land on.
equipment, I don't know, that's his equipment.
Equipment.
Equipment. Equipment. Equipment.
Good.
Possibility.
Take out, bring into,
Greystone.
pass out,
Defeat.
Defeated.
Defeated. Vision.
Very good. So these words over here to the left, as we read, you will see these words in the context of the article. And if you're not really familiar with what they mean, there is a small definition over to the left. Tara, do you have any questions about any of those words over to the left?
No. I guess I'm familiar with most of them.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what we're going to do is take turns reading the paragraphs. If you make an error, if you make a mistake, I will correct you, but the goal is not to spend too much time on sounding, but practicing just reading what you see. And we'll talk more about how to get control over what you're pronouncing incorrectly, but I will correct you. So, Tara, if you would start with paragraph 1, if you would read paragraph 1 for us.
Okay. Life or death. What would you do in a life or death situation? What would you give up to save your life? Could you give up your house or your car? Could you give up all the money in your bank account? How much could you give up? Could you give up your own arm? What if your life depended on it? Could you cut your own arm off? In 2003, Aaron Ralston was in that kind of life or death situation. He was hiking in a desert canyon when something terrible happened. He fell, and his arm became trapped under a big rock. There was no one to help him. He had only 2 choices. He could die, or he could cut his arm off to escape.
Very nicely read. Are there any questions about that paragraph? Okay. So Mina,
Yes.
do you have a question?
No.
Okay, so Mina, tell me, what is one thing that you know about this paragraph? Just look at the paragraph and tell me one thing about the paragraph.
This paragraph tell about the. Give me a minute.
I'm going to ask you the same thing, Catherine.
Yeah. What did you say, Priscilla? Sorry?
I said I'm going to ask you the same thing to tell me one thing about this paragraph.
About this paragraph, the first paragraph?
Yeah, just
I mean,
just
I
one.
understand. Oh, I'm sorry. Regarding this paragraph, I understand that a man almost die in this situation in the canyon. You know,
Very good.
in the desert. So that's something. I mean, he had to cut his own hand because he was a really dangerous situation.
Very good. So that's one thing. A man was in a very dangerous situation and he had to probably cut his arm off. One thing, Mina, the goal is to practice speaking. Even if you don't say it correctly, just speak.
Okay.
You could say that he fell and his arm was trapped under a big rock.
Okay. Yeah, right. And there was no one to help him.
Very good. He fell and there was no one to help him. Tara, could you summarize paragraph 1 for me?
Okay, so it was about a man who was hiking somewhere in kind of like a desert canyon, and he got into the dilemma of choosing to cut off his hand or to just save his life.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Did you notice that she used the word dilemma? Tara, what does the word dilemma mean?
Dilemma kind of like a problem. It could be, it could have a connotation like a moral dilemma, where it's something that it might be related to the values, the things that you highly value in your life, or it's kind of like a decision that is hard to take.
Okay. need to make a decision or choose. Okay, so I'm sure dilemma is spelled wrong. I think maybe 2 M's. I'm not sure, but it's not a spelling course, so I'm okay there. Very good. Mimna, would you read paragraph 2? Catherine, I'm going to ask you to tell me one thing about paragraph 2.
Okay.
Tara, I'm going to ask you to tell me one thing about paragraph 2. And Mina, I'm going to ask you to summarize paragraph 2. Mina, can you read, please? Aaron was
an experienced adventure athlete in 2002. He quit his job as an engineer and set a world record for climbing. He became the first person to climb of all the Colorado's largest mountains alone in winter. He wasn't afraid of danger. In 2003, he was almost killed by an, what's the pronunciation?
avalanche.
Avalanche while skiing. Later that same year, he almost lost his life while hiking. He didn't expect it to be dangerous, so he made a very big mistake. He didn't tell anyone where he was going.
Very nice. Catherine, can you tell me one thing about paragraph 2?
Yes, so this man, he got to different situation, really bad situation. First of all, the first one was an avalanche, skiing. I don't know if that's skiing.
There was an avalanche while skiing.
Skiing, while skiing. Yes, and the second one, he makes a big mistake because he doesn't say anything to anybody. When he go to the mountain, to hiking, he got the dangerous situation. So,
okay. Now this word is
skiing.
Okay. Well, it's not the S, but skiing.
Skiing. Okay.
And then the other word is going to be hiking.
Okay.
Okay.
Hiking. Okay.
All right. And Tara, one thing about this paragraph 2?
Well, I think that even though he was experienced, but however, he depended so much on his luck, because maybe he took his experience like for granted. I mean, he miscalculated lots of his steps in the second adventure. So maybe he was a little bit kind of like arrogant, or he thought that would be a piece of cake, but it wouldn't.
Very good. I like the way that you're introducing new vocabulary, Tara. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, Mina, could you summarize paragraph 2?
He set a world record for climbing. He quit his job.
Just tell me 2 more things. That would be fine. He quit his job.
And then he became the first person to climb the Colorado's largest mountain alone in winter. And one biggest mistake he has done, that he didn't tell anyone that where he was going.
Okay, super. And number 3, paragraph 3, Catherine. Tara, I will ask you to give me one thing about paragraph 3. Mina, the same, and Catherine will summarize.
Okay.
All right. On the first day, he hiked about 20 miles into the desert when he fell into the hole. As he fell, he moved a large rock that weighed, I don't know if that is correct, weighed 316 kilos. The rock landed on his arm. He was trapped. He was alone in the desert, and no one knew where he was.
Okay.
Continue
Catherine?
with the other paragraphs,
No,
Priscilla,
no,
or
no.
no?
No.
All right.
Catherine, tell me one thing about this paragraph.
I mean, this man goes to
I'm sorry, not Catherine, but Tara.
all right, all
Okay.
right, all right.
One thing about this paragraph is that I wouldn't want to be in his shoes when he fell down, because it might felt intimidating at the time when he felt like he's so alone and on his own, and there's no one to help him, even though he was so experienced. He was so experienced, but it didn't help at the time.
Okay. Mina, one thing.
Very first day, he hiked about 20 miles into the desert.
Very good. Now, Catherine, I want to tell you, it's something about the way that you're pronouncing your ED. Many times the ED will be t, and other times it will be TED. But for hiked, it's going to be hiked, hiked.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can write it for you. And then you can try and pronounce it the way that it's written. H-I-K-T. Hiked. Hiked.
Height.
So it's more like maybe put an I. E-Y. Hiked. Hiked.
Height.
Yes. Hiked.
Okay.
Height.
Height. So
And
for
then,
the weight, the pronunciation weight, right?
very good. Wade. Wade. This one is going to end in D. Wade.
Oh,
Wade.
wait.
So it's going to sound more like, let's see.
Wait. Okay.
Maybe Wade.
Wait.
Wade.
Wait. Okay, got it.
Wade. And then you had fail, but you said fall. It's fail. F-E-L-L. Fail.
Fell.
Fail. 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 Fail.
Fail. Okay.
Or maybe F-A-L-A. Fail.
Okay. Fail. Okay.
All right. Catherine, can you summarize this paragraph 3 for me?
So I have to continue with the other paragraph, Priscilla?
No, I want you to summarize paragraph 3. Tell me what paragraph 3 is about.
Oh, the paragraph 3 is about, I mean, the same man that he was the situation with the rock, and the rock dropped into the ham with under 7 kilos, and he lost the ham. So
okay, very good. Thank you, ladies. And now let's go on to let's see. Mina, could you read number 4? Mina, read number 4. Read.
Right. On the first day, Aaron, right?
Aaron knew.
Aaron knew that help was not coming. He immediately thought of cutting off his arm. Of course, he didn't want to do this, so he tried not to think about it. After a short time, he lost feeling in the trapped arm. He tried many different ways to escape. He tried to push the rock, but he couldn't. He tried to break the rock, but he couldn't. He tried to use this climbing equipment to pull the rock, but he couldn't. He knew that there was almost no chance of anyone finding him. He had very little water, and he knew he could not survive for long.
Very good. Now, Mina, I want you to summarize your paragraph. Tell me 3 things about paragraph 4. Mina.
All right. Aaron was aware that he was not getting any help. He did not get any help.
Okay, 1. What else? 3 things. That's 1. He wasn't going to get any help.
He was. He tried to escape where he was trapped. his arm was trapped,
Mm-hmm.
but
One more thing.
uh, you aware that he was not having any chance of anyone finding him.
Very good. So the things that you said that I got is that he knew help was not coming, his
Yeah.
arm was trapped, and there was no chance of anyone finding him. Is that about right?
Yeah, right.
Perfect. All right, let's go on. And so I'm going to have Catherine, could you read 5, 6, and 7?
All right. Aaron said goodbye to his family. So again, love to everyone, bring love and peace and happiness and beautiful lives into the world in my honor. Thank you. Love you. He stopped recording. He then used his knife to write his name on the rock under his name of October 1975. This was the month and year he was born. Under that he wrote April 2003. This was the current month and year. This was his gravestone. He prayed to God and was ready to die. He knew that cutting off his arm was his only chance to escape. He had a knife, but it was a very cheap one. As he cut off his arm, I lost the text. Okay. He felt an strange mixture and terrible pain. As he cut off his arm, he felt a strong mystery of a strange pain and joy. He can't eat a beautiful. I'm sorry. He can't eat a beautiful pain. Cutting his arm was the worst pain of his life, but the idea of freedom made it very excited. He had to be careful not to pass out from the pain and
Excitement.
excitement. He cut the skin, he cut the muscle, he cut the nerves, but he couldn't cut the bone. His knife was not strong enough. He didn't know what to do. Nerves.
Okay. So we're going to focus on your T sounds in the past tense, Catherine, but we'll look at that in another lesson. And I had to erase some of the words that I had circled. Beautiful, I think, is one.
Beautiful.
I don't remember what the other ones were. Born was one. Called, it's the T sound, called. You will start to recognize which ones end in T and which ones end in the D just by reading.
Okay.
So, Catherine, can you summarize your 3 paragraphs for me? Tell me 3 or 4 things.
Yeah, the man was alone, totally alone, with a difficult situation with the rock. He saw how the, I mean, he ran. He saw he's almost died, but I mean, he tried to cut his hands, but he cut everything except the bone.
Okay.
Same situation, so with a lot of pain.
Okay, that was good. So we know that he was in a very painful situation. He cut as much as he could, but he couldn't cut through the bone. All right.
Yeah.
What we're doing now is getting attuned to each other's voice so that although we are not each reading everything, we're listening carefully to the other person that is reading. And this will be the same if you were here in America. We don't all sound alike. So you would get accustomed to the different sounds. And let's go to Tara. Could you read 5
After.
or 8 and 9? These two. I forget what number. I think it's 8. 8
After. So it starts from
after 5.
After 5 days, Aaron gave up. He was defeated. He knew he would die. Then he had a vision. He saw himself in the future with only one arm, playing with a small boy. The boy had blonde hair and a red shirt. Aaron had no children, but he knew this was his future son. He also knew that he couldn't give up. He couldn't die. He had a son in the future that he needed to meet. His knife was too weak to cut his bone, but he had an idea. He wouldn't cut the bone, he would break it. After breaking his bone, he was free. He had been alone for 5 days, without food and with little water, but he was still alive. He took a picture of the rock and his hand before leaving.
Very nice. So summarize this for me, Catherine. Paragraph 8 and 9.
I have to read again, Priscilla?
I'm sorry, Tara. Tara.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay. So,
Thank you,
No, but
Tara.
so after 5 days of struggling to cut through the bone because his knife was too weak and wasn't proficient and efficient for the task, he had a vision, an epiphany, where he
Wow.
kind of like envisioned his son, his future son. He didn't have children, so he thought that he should empower himself and strengthen his willpower so he could go through this hardship and this trial. So he had an idea of not just cutting through the bone, but breaking the bone, breaking through the bone. And I think he used kind of like the rock. I'm not sure, but he managed. He pulled it off, and he managed to break the bone. And he even took a shot for his arm before he managed to break the bone. And after that, he didn't have enough supply of water, food, but I guess he pulled off the situation so far. He managed to free and release himself.
Very good. Very nicely read. And a very good summary. And I'm sure we all can recognize Tara as being an advanced reader. She has a very huge vocabulary. So when she used the word epiphany, like, wow, that's awesome. So what is an epiphany, Tara? What does that mean to have an epiphany?
An epiphany, it's kind of like a moment, just a moment, spur of the moment, where like everything clarifies, and when all the pieces of the puzzle would just come together, and you would be like, I get the idea, or I can do something now, or I have an understanding of something, or an idea might pop up in our brain, kind of like that.
And for those of you who are mothers as well as myself, we have lots of those moments with our children. No one has to tell us what's wrong. We can determine just by the sound or the look or expression, something that our child is doing. We're having an epiphany, like something is good, something is not so good. That is that type of an example. All right, so the last two paragraphs, Catherine, would you read number 10? And Mina, you will read 11.
Okay.
Okay, his night, oh, sorry, 10, yes.
The place?
Okay, the place where he was trapped for 5 days was 20 meters from the ground. Aaron was an experienced climber, but now he had only one hand. Very carefully, he used his ropes to climb down to the ground. He was still 20 miles from anyone in the middle of the desert. He didn't have a cell phone, so he began to hike back. After some time, Aaron met a family of hikers.
Met a family.
Met a family of hikers. They gave Aaron food and water and called for help. Soon, Aaron was on an emergency helicopter that took him to the hospital.
Very good. Okay. Summarize for me. Tell me about 3 things in this paragraph.
Me, Priscilla?
Yes, Catherine.
Oh, he was a lucky man because he finally get out from the cave. He found a family. The family gave to him food and some water. Family hiker, yes. They gave to Aaron food and water. So.
Okay. And paragraph 11, Mina.
Yeah. Aaron lost his arm that day, but he learned a lot about himself. He also learned that the most important thing in life is relationships. When he almost died, thinking about his family and future son helped him not give up. He still climbs mountains and does other adventure sports. Aaron also travels the world and talks about his experience to schools and businesses. In 2010, Aaron and his wife had a baby boy named Leo. Aaron believes that Leo saved his life back in 2003.
Very good. And summarize for me, Mina.
Okay.
Just 2 or 3 things.
Okay. When he lost his arm, that day he realized that in life relationships are very important.
Anything else?
And he also learned a lot of things about himself.
He learned a lot of things about himself. Okay, very good. So now what we want to be able to do, it isn't important that you remember everything, but we watched the video, we read the paragraphs, we read the entire article, we just read pieces of it. Catherine, did seeing the video help you, or would it have been better to read first?
Oh, I think that is better. I mean, I understand video, but it's better. I can understand better now when I read all the tests. So
Good.
I can understand everything now, what happened with him.
Okay. Mina, which one do you think would have been better for you, to watch the video or to read first?
I think to watch the video first.
Okay. And Tara, which was best for you? Do you think would have been best, to watch the video or to read first?
Actually, I didn't have any problem watching the video or reading the article because I am accustomed of reading and watching these kind of materials. Normally I immerse myself in the English language, whether it's in reading or watching YouTube videos, these kind of videos. So to be quite frank, I didn't have any problem watching the video or reading the article. I'm familiar with all of the words.
Okay, super. Now, very quickly, there are 2 pages, but I don't think I can get all of it on 1 page. Can you? No, I'll just go with 1 page. If you use some of the other words, that will be fine. I'd like for you to look at these words over to the left and try to tell me about the article. And it will sound, you don't have to use all of them, and it is okay if you use the words incorrectly. But it would sound something like this. This article is about a young man who was trapped in a canyon. He didn't have anyone he could depend on other than himself. While he was in the canyon, he had to cut off a part of his body because he had fallen into a hole. He didn't have enough equipment to pull himself out, and the good thing is he didn't give up. Okay, that's a quick summary, trying to just look at words, because what you're going to do later, it may be several weeks, maybe several months, maybe even just a few days, you'll be able to look at a few key words and remember what an article is about. Tara, I'm going to let you go last.
Okay.
So Mina or Catherine, who would like to go first?
Actually, my problem is that I cannot speak instantly. I mean, I cannot I cannot frame the words. So that is my problem. That's why I'm not able to summarize that paragraph also. And I'm
No,
just
you
reading
did
the sentence.
you did wonderful. You did wonderful with the paragraphs that you summarized. You did fine because you were only trying to speak. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just say what you can.
Okay.
And that guy's name is Aaron. Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron. Okay.
What do you know about Aaron, Mina?
He quit. He was an engineer, and he quit his job because he want to set a world record for climbing and want to become first person of Colorado's largest mountains alone in.
And look
He
at the
was not up.
look at the vocabulary. Look at the vocabulary words and try to use some of these words.
Okay. After his arm was stuck in the mountain, then also he didn't give up. Am I right?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. In that mountain, he was not dependent on anyone because
Good.
He was stuck in a Canaan
Very good.
desert. After his arm was stuck in desert Canaan, he was not having any other option to cut off his arm. I'm not able to make the sentence for this avalanche.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. Any others? Can you use any of the others?
Yeah, I'll try. He used his equipment while climbing the mountain.
Okay, that's very good. And you'll start to see, when you see vocabulary words, things will just come to your mind. And later on, you'll be able to use these words in some other context. Catherine, could you try?
Yes, I'm going to try. So, Aaron was experiencing adventure athletes. He go into the canyon. He go into the canyon with enough equipment. With enough equipment, yes, with enough equipment. He was a tragic. He had a really bad situation, avalanche, sandstorm fall into his hand or draw down, fall into his hand, and he almost cut up. I mean, he cut up his hand because he had two situations, life or death. So he had to cut his hand, but he never get up. He never get up in that situation. I don't know about the last one.
Okay, that was very good too. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you to you.
Tara, are you ready?
Yes. So the article is about the life or death dilemma, and the article follows a young, experienced athlete, how he got trapped in a canyon, and the specificities where he got, like how he got trapped in the canyon. It was he miscalculated his steps. He fell into the canyon and he landed on his arm. And then he was forced to choose between cutting off his arm or just dying. I think he miscalculated his steps because before this adventure and this accident, he survived an avalanche. So he thought that he was kind of delusional. He thought that he could survive this one too. Even though he didn't give up, he tried to use his equipment. He depended on whatever he got at the time, at the moment. Um, in the end, he managed to make the best of whatever he had.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So we would do the same with the next page, but I'm going to forego that now and enter into yet another part of an activity. Mina, how is the lesson going for you today?
It's quite good. I wasn't expecting this kind of interaction session. It will really help me in future.
Yes.
If on daily basis, if I attend this session.
Well, I'm happy that you did. Now what we're going to do, on another occasion we may go back and visit page 2 and page 3, but I want to give you an opportunity to actually look at an answer, a response, but I want your response to be something that is coming from your head. Use these as a guide. For example, what you see here is what we've already read. What's in bold are questions. What you see here is what we've already read. Here are the questions. So the question that I'm going to ask now is, what kind of situation was it? Here is the answer. The answer is right here. It was a life or death situation. But I want you to give me a complete sentence. You can say, Aaron was in a life and death situation. I want you to either leave out some of the words or add words. That makes me know that you're thinking. Tara, do you understand?
Yes, yes, yes. I have to come up with my own words, add in some words, or use the same words. The whole idea is just to make me stretch my usage of the words that we already use.
Exactly. And I'm also testing your listening. All right, so Tara will go first. Tara, what kind of situation was discussed in this article?
I think this article was talking about the dilemma of just choosing in life, whether it's, choosing your death or life, or in general, choosing anything.
Okay, but more specifically, it was about life or death. So,
Yes, I agree.
this situation was specifically about life or death. However, as we go through life, we're constantly making choices and decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, did something wonderful happen in this story? Here's where you'll find your answer, but I want you to use your own words. Did something wonderful happen in this story? And although it says no, it could be yes, something did happen. He survived, but it's up to you however you want to go. So, Catherine, did something wonderful happen?
I mean, nothing wonderful happened in the situation, but it's something wonderful because he saved his life. So that's the thing. And he realized that the more important thing in the life is the relationship. So because he's the whole time remember his son and his family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best thing of the article. I think so. So
good. So Catherine, do you see that even after I ask you a question, you're remembering things about the article You remember
Yeah,
that he said that
yeah.
relationships are
I
important?
remember, yeah, because I mean, I love the article because I think that you can, I mean, something true, it's life. So
Relate
it's nothing
Absolutely.
about the
to
life, so
life.
it's really true. So
Okay. So, Mina, I'm
Yes.
here now. What were some of the choices that Aaron had? What were his choices?
He was only having one choice, that he could die or he could cut off his arm, because he was not having another option on that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, good,
that
good. Again, my goal is just to encourage you to talk, and you have the answer there, so that's good. Tara, did Aaron set a record for climbing?
I guess, yeah, he set a record for climbing. However, he miscalculated his steps, and that that lead me to think that even though we might get the hang of lots of things in our lives, we still need to keep an open mind and keep an open eye to learning. And because I think life is just it's all about learning and setting goals. And whenever we reach to like a stagnant point, that's when life just gets tedious and boring and not worthwhile.
Okay, good. Mina,
yes,
was Aaron afraid? Was Aaron afraid?
no, he was not afraid. He was just helpless because no one was there to help him.
Okay,
But then too, his took his decision and he cut his arm.
okay. Ca- Catherine,
yes.
what happened to Aaron in 2003?
In 2003, he almost killed by an avalanche white skin.
Okay. Tara, what mistake did Aaron make? What was a mistake that Aaron made on his hiking?
Oh well, he thought that he got the hang of the whole hiking process. He kind of like defied nature, and he
Mhm,
was all alone on his own. He thought that he could pull it off,
mhm.
but again, it's nature. You can't defy nature. And then again, he confronted his fears. Um, of, being entrapped in that canyon, and he got a very beautiful epiphany, and he kind of like recalculated everything in his life, and I think all in all, he became more appreciative of everything in his life.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So now I'm going to reverse. Instead of my asking the question, Tara, I want you to ask either Mina or Catherine the next three questions, or the
Mhm.
next four questions. Choose to ask this question. Do not read the question as it is written, but change it, and they will, of course, change the response. All right?
Okay, 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 got it. Okay, Catherine,
Yes.
what happened to his arm when he fell into the canyon?
He had to cut his hand because he's almost died. I mean, I don't see that
This
question
question
there.
is here.
Oh,
It's what landed on his arm, and I took his arm and said what happened to his arm.
okay. I'm sorry.
But Dr. Priscilla said you could manipulate. I mean, you could change
Right.
the words.
Exactly.
I mean, we can check the answer, right? We
Yeah,
can
Yes.
check
yeah,
the
sure.
answer. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So yes, he was dropped in the canyon, but he had to cut his hand because he's almost died. So, and also he was alone in that situation.
Okay. Good.
Um, Ina,
Yes.
um, Mina, did he think that he could survive? I mean, at some point when he fell in that canyon, do you think that he would live or die? What do you think?
Uh,
Like, what was
at
his
that particular
thoughts at the moment that he fell and his arm trapped? Um, what was his thoughts? He thought that he would die or live, or what did he saw?
Um,
What were his thoughts at the moment?
at that moment, he was thinking that whether he should he should die or he should cut off his arm. These two choices only he was having. So he chose to cut his arm, and
Okay, very good.
with,
That's good. So we only have, so let's now go to Catherine. Ask Mina and Tara one of the questions here. Just choose one. I'll try to figure out which one you're asking. Just choose one.
All right. Amina, how did Aaron record?
That's record.
Oh,
Like
record.
record his
I'm sorry.
voice.
How did Aaron record?
he recorded for himself.
Okay. Now try not to read it exactly. Try to add something more to the response. He recorded himself. Why? Because he wanted people to know that he was important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next question, Catherine.
Yeah, next question. Mina, do you know that he have a lot of water?
Yeah, no, he was not having enough water to survive. He was having very little water.
Okay.
Okay.
Catherine asked her a question.
Another question?
That was Mina. You called on Mina.
No.
I'm here.
It's Tara. Ask Tara a question. Catherine asked Tara a question.
Okay, got it. I was thinking Mina. Okay. Tara,
Mhm.
how can I he try to escape from the mountain?
Say again, please, Catherine. How did he manage to escape? How did he manage to save himself?
Exactly.
That way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he had to choose between cutting off his arm or dying, so he chose to cut off his arm. In the beginning, he used his knife. His knife was blunt. It wasn't sharp, and it wasn't efficient for that task. So he cut off the muscles, the flesh, the nerves, but he couldn't cut off the bone. He thought that he would die at the time, but then he got an idea of just breaking through the bone, and he pulled it off, and that's how he survived. And then he just tried to use the rope to land on the ground again, and the water, like his water supply was was nothing, but he survived because he wanted to live. That's like the instinctual, the instinct of survival kicked in, I guess.
Okay, very good. And Mina, from this page, can you find a question for Tara and a question for Catherine?
Okay, just give me a minute. Aaron was having any expensive knives? Tara?
Sorry, Mina, did Aaron have an expensive? Oh no, his knife wasn't the right knife to use. It wasn't sharp. It was blunt, so he didn't have like a clean cut. Um, he struggled to cut through his flesh, nerves, muscles, and he couldn't cut off his arm at one like from the first shot. He couldn't. He I think he was in like deep pain uh, while he was just doing the whole thing, the whole process. But at the end, he got the idea of breaking his bone. So it kind of like
Okay,
broke the bone.
all right.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. And Mina, one more question for Catherine.
Catherine, why Aaron uh, did he cut?
Oh, oh, he cut the skin, the muscle, and the nerves because he didn't cut the skin and the muscle and the nerve, everything almost. He almost died, so that's the situation. So.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. So the area that he cut was the skin and the muscles and the nerves, but the bone was the most difficult. All right. Well, ladies, we did a great job of reading, summarizing, and asking questions. This is how you develop fluency, by listening to a native speaker, such as myself, other speakers who are not so good at speaking, some that are good at speaking, but then eventually you'll be able to pull it all together and we'll all see the improvement over time. So thank you so much for coming today. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson as much as I appreciate Deep English putting this lesson together for us today and being able to share it. What questions could I answer for you, Mina? Or what is your takeaway for today from today's lesson?
Today I interact with all three of you. Frankly speaking, I'm don't have that confidence that I can speak continuously in English that I have written on my email. If you read my mail,
I did. And
so
there'll
now
be there'll be situations and other circumstances where you'll see some improvement, but I don't give you a specific quantifiable time when you're going to be able to do something. But for now, you did great today. Catherine,
thank
what is your
you.
takeaway? What would you like to say? And thank you for coming as well.
So thank you so much to you, Priscilla. So I enjoyed really good the class because I learned a lot of new vocabulary. I think that's really good. So really good for me.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for coming. Tara, you will be the last one up. What is your takeaway for today, and what would you like to add?
I loved our lesson. I loved how we teamed up together to give our best and how we kind of like formed a sisterhood today. So,
Yes, good.
and I loved how you always ascertain to force it, not to force it, but to challenge us and to make us try our best every
Okay,
single time.
very good. So my takeaway for today is that this was a great story. It gives me hope that in any dangerous situation, the goal is never give up, because if you work at it, somehow, some way, something is going to help you pull it through. Especially as a mother, we know that we have children that are needing us. We have to survive for them. So thank you
You're
so
right.
much for coming today. It was my pleasure to have you at this webinar. I hope that you will join me tomorrow. It will be at the same time. We will continue with page 2 and maybe add some more activities, focusing maybe perhaps on pronunciation and some sentence structure, maybe present tense, past tense. We'll see.
Yeah, that will be better if you talk like in past tense or present tense. That will be more better, right?
Okay. Well, it won't necessarily be more better. It would be in an addition to what you are already getting. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much, ladies. See you.
Thank you,
Thank
Priscilla.
you.
Was really
Thank you,
good. Thank
Priscilla.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye,
Bye.
bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Yeah, and I'll clear all the drawings and go out, stop sharing, and goodbye.